11 West African nationals have taken legal action against the government of Ghana.
President John Dramani Mahama, SC, CHO America, on Wakwasa Krata Bra, Obejo. Ama say court to Bia Bermuda International and send me Bruno de San Libre Ghana for. Say Omaya would do almost a munjo munko for chairman's one Obejom, Ombra Ghana. She say a bay news are air trendy amount food dihun komukiti. Me saw me to what venture. My dear president ye beboa. So be tini baby near deport to now new cruise one denied yes ye beginor. Ushim a beboa na say emwa. After sign news yamboa chill, we'll have our comment to go comment section. Because I ask Uncle Food think more hope.
11 West African nationals have taken legal action against the government of Ghana. What's their crime or our crime? Challenging their transfer from the United States under the controversial arrangement. Now, the applicants, who are Nigerians, Togolese, Gambians, and Malian nationals, say they were secretly removed from the United States detention centers earlier this month, despite having previously secured protection against deportation from American immigration courts. Now, they claim they only discovered later that Ghana was their unexpected destination. They didn't know about this. That's why they say it was a secret deportation. They didn't know that they were being brought to Ghana. But then again, what does the law say? Because since their arrival on September 6th, they say they have been kept in military facilities, denied proper access to family members, and held for more than 48 hours without any court order. The suits filed before the Ghanaian courts include a habeas corpus action questioning the lawfulness of their detention, a human rights case alleging violations of their liberty and administrative justice, and an injunction seeking to stop any attempt to send them back to their countries of origin. Now, let's get a bit more into this, because this is one that our legal affairs correspondent, Joseph Akablea, has been following quite closely as how this transpired right from the United States to what's happening here in Ghana. He's joining us right now. Joseph, it's good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. What more do we know about this particular case and the challenge that these deportees are bringing up against the government of Ghana?
Well, the first update we can bring to our viewers is the fact that two of the cases that you made reference to are due to be heard in court tomorrow. The first being the habeas corpus application, which is simply challenging the basis for their imprisonment, asking that whoever is holding them shows up in court and explains why they are being detained, for the court to determine whether that detention should be allowed to remain or the court should issue other orders for their release. Then the second application is the one for the injunction that you also made reference to, which would also is supposed to be heard tomorrow, asking that the Republic of Ghana is restrained from having them removed from Ghana. We have seen and verified videos from persons who are close to these individuals, videos showing one person speaking on their behalf, in which they say that as at the 15th of September, that is just 2 days ago, they were still in the jurisdiction. You recall last week, the president had said that the first batch had been sent out of the country. What is not clear is whether this is another batch beyond the batch the president had referred to, because they say that media reports suggesting they arrived in Ghana and they had been sent out of Ghana are false and that they are still within their jurisdiction. The main point to make is that they have been granted some respite by the courts in the United States of America that prevented their removal from that country, and they were not therefore supposed to be moved from the United States in the first place, only to be told mid-flight that they were heading to Ghana. And they say that on arrival in Ghana, without any court order or anything, they are being kept beyond the mandatory requirements of 48 hours, or beyond that, you get a court order to extend that warrant. And so that is what they are saying, that as far as they are concerned, they believe their rights have been breached, for which reason they are seeking the intervention of our courts.
And they say they are being kept at military facilities?
Yes.
As we see from what you do know?
Yes, that's the claim they make. They say that they are being held in various military facilities and that there are intermittent access that is granted to family members and sometimes to the lawyers. So it's not access that they are satisfied with. And they believe that all those matters amount to a breach of their rights. And as far as they are concerned, they believe that the courts ought to intervene and order their release.
And Joseph, hold on a bit for me. Let's hear from the president. Exactly a week ago, when he first spoke about this entire arrangement and these deportees coming into Ghana. Take a look. And we'll hear from him. And then Samuel Okujoto Ablakwa as well did give a bit more detail a couple of days ago during that accountability series. This is the president a week ago. Take a look.
It shows the tightening situation in our foreign relations, but I do think that we still enjoy good relations with the United States of America. We were approached by the U.S. to accept third-party nationals who were being removed from the U.S. And we agreed with them that West African nationals, were acceptable because all our fellow West Africans don't need a visa to come to our country. So if they decided to travel from US to Accra, they don't need a visa anyway. So if you're bringing our colleague West Africans back, that's okay. And so I think that agreement has been activated, and a first batch of 14 nationals came. Several of them were our Nigerian brothers. They opted to go back home, and so we put them on buses, to be able to go back home. One of them was a Gambian who it's not as easy. You have to get him an air ticket to be able to facilitate his travel. So what we've done is contacted their embassy to let them know of his presence so that they can facilitate his return to Gambia. And so that's the issue with regards to deportations and arrivals. West Africa has the protocol of free movement. And so any West African is free to come to Ghana and be able to stay for 90 days. And so if they decide to bring them, we don't have a problem accepting them.
So that's the president there. So, Joseph, he reiterates the point you made earlier that these West African nationals are due for their countries of origin under this arrangement with the United States. And that's what these deportees are resisting. They don't want to go to their countries?
Yes, in fact, they say that they should not have been removed from USA in the first place because they say that they had been granted a certain status. And in fact, there's an international report by the Reuters which makes reference to a matter that has been put before a federal court which raises questions about whether those individuals should be removed from the country. And so in this particular process that they filed in court, they attached some of those documents to show that there were pending matters and there's also a certain status that had been granted them, for which reason they should not have been moved. Again, we are learning from our government sources that about 40 other nationals are expected in the country in the coming week as well, 40 nationals. And questions are already being raised about the nature of the agreement that has been reached, particularly in line with the Supreme Court decision in the Gitmo 2, the case of Margaret Banfu and Henry Nana Boache versus the Attorney General, in which the court said that whatever form that agreement takes, Article 75 does not make any such distinction, and so such agreements ought to be taken to Parliament for ratification. But the government sources and the Minister for Foreign Affairs has stated quite publicly that, as far as they are concerned, the agreement hasn't gotten to the stage that ought to go to Parliament for such an approval.
Okay, and so from what you do know, when is this case going to be heard?
It's to be heard tomorrow morning at the High Court here in Accra.
Tomorrow morning. And we'll see how things play out. And I know that this is one that you're keeping clear focus on, and we'll be updating our viewers on it. Our senior legal affairs correspondent there, Joseph Akable, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. And the Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okujoto Ablakwa, also gave some detail on the status of these deportees and what is going to happen, because they have to go to their countries. They say they don't want to go. But this is Samuel Okujoto Ablakwa 2 days ago. Take a look.
Ghana's action was guided solely by our moral responsibility, our legal obligations under the 1992 Constitution and ECOWAS protocols. our distinguished Pan-African track record, and historic and legendary leadership in championing the rights of all Africans. Let me emphasize that under this understanding with the United States, Ghana must first independently vet the background of those the U.S. intends to deport to first satisfy ourselves that they do not pose any threat to the security of our country and that they cannot harm our citizens. We have put in place strict safeguards to ensure that convicted, hardened criminals cannot be brought into our country under this understanding.
How to use the laser home kit. First, apply the gel directly to the tooth surface as demonstrated on the video. Second, connect the light to your phone using the USB provided. Leave the light shining on your teeth for 16 minutes. Fourth, rinse your mouth and the mouthpiece with water, cold water. And lastly, smile. Using the toothpaste separately. Brush twice daily with the toothpaste. Bear in mind, this product is not suitable for pregnant women, breastfeeding mothers, and children under 18 years old. Enjoy!
I busuafo. So pair a sifita structure of the and the enough unique laser whiten. Any tea stains, coffee stains, smoking stains to unique laser whitening product. Ebe yini nyina free summer kama. The oyan is so befraying. I was 079-9979-2330. Unique laser whitening or say Muni Seso.
Unique. Abone fonti. I was so no bambo here. Na me papa mu de. Pro Technologies. And me can farmer wo. Ane. Pro Technologies. We are specialized in both sales and installation of CCTV cameras. Yes, on ESA install CCTV cameras in the Sour Ghana and NASA brochure. Now if you're Ghana. Now best CCTV camera installation. We need Pro Technologies. And then so yes CCTV camera installation, electric fence, automated gate, access control, video doorbell, and our intercom, and our satellite TV, home theater, so we pay biato, and our water, and our person install them out. Pro Technologies, and our software, na channel so. Say video nyina from America buchime. In this and papa na padia. Man yene ho na ne bo so da form. Ne general construction. So pese si ufie di ma say ya bansoro. Den tia se wa sha ase na pese ewie di ba. Ana afa na pese si di ma wo no. Woni en eni sa wo so. Ne de wo ni se. Ye no nyina ne wa buchime mu ha. Ene branch e wa Ghana. Na eni mo bra wo bre. Nti so sika fa ensemu a. Sro bia nim. Wo dad. Da. E den bi a pese osi. Pride bia. And which is so here solar power and abamba won sensem bia de uni Pro Technologies emi sa woso ye smart home aba from fidie bi apeso hye wo fi ana intercom e bi hujuma ene esanso interior decoration yes ufie na mawo ana wa wasi ufie na pese siesi hodema wo se eye office ye betwa ho neat ne wo car tracker ana GPS how betimi dia track your car bibia car ne nam bia obetima hwe e wo phone so and which is so ton fidie bi na wo hu ko e first install ana ne settings ye beye e Ye Ghana office ewo Ashie Adenta Dodoa Road Yene CBG ene DNMhwe. For information or WhatsApp +1 401 75 70 300 and +1 401 69 92 254. Pro Technologies. Customer satisfaction is our topmost priority.